Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and you all know how much I like these Snap-On interchangeable shank ratcheting screwdrivers. There are three different versions of handles here. You've got the little stubby, which I absolutely love. You've got the one that rotates or tilts. Can't do a full T handle at 90 degrees. You can go about, I don't know, whatever that is. Looks like about 45 degrees or so. And then you've got the standard straight handle. All these are in kind of a soft grip. To my knowledge, there's no hard grip version off the shelf, but I have heard of some people convert their hard grips into interchangeable shank screwdrivers. The two larger ones do have bit storage in the back, and you can use this right here as a little bit spinner if you want. Kind of primitive, I know, but real handy. Obviously, fewer bits fit into this one if you compare the depth. That's one of the things. If I drop that in, you can see that's only as far as it goes. But anyway, let's take a closer look at the bit shanks. But before I start, I do want to mention, the more I use this thing, or actually any of them, but especially the small one, and especially with the long shaft here, the rotational direction of the switch, I think, really matters here. Because I can actually hang on to the switch and use that as my driving handle here. Normally, obviously, you palm the whole thing, but sometimes on these ratcheting screwdrivers, you slip a little bit, and if you do, and you turn the rotate or the switch in the direction you're trying to tighten, but that direction is the opposite of the tightening, then it flicks and begins to spin, because you hit it in the wrong direction, so you have to go back. So you only can use this amount of the handle, if that was the case. If you get down here and then you flick it, there's a problem. So that's a big reason why I prefer that you turn the lever, the switch, in the direction you want to turn the shaft. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go to the shafts here. So I've got all of them that Snap-On sells, and some that they don't anymore. These are old fixed blade slotted and Phillips. I could not find them in the catalog. I've had these for a long time, probably because it's if you look at that, it's a pretty extensive tool that easily grinds down, up at the tip. So if I took this in, the only option would be to replace the entire thing. This is super cheap to make because they make so many of them, but the rest of this is, chrome plated, knurled, the machining on the quarter square, the ball detent. I mean, that's like way overboard for something, like this little screwdriver head that's definitely going to wear out. So I don't think they make these anymore. I looked them up. I couldn't find them in the catalog. Maybe they do. But that's the problem with them. But going back to these, so for the quarter hex bit drivers, there are three straight standard ones. One is about a 3-inch long one. This often comes with the, in this configuration if you buy this, rather than a long one. The 5-inch, which oddly I see often in this, hanging on the Snap-On truck roof. And then there is a 9-inch, and that one generally is sold independent of the others. I love this thing in this stubby. There's just something about that work environment that's just great. But there are a few others. One is a quarter square. Now the quarter square on one end is designed to fit into the drive handle, and then what do you put on it? You can put on a socket, whatever you want, on the far end. Taking that a little further, there is a quarter square with a flexible shaft. That's super handy for both driving sockets, and screws, etc. Won't quite fit around a lot of doorknobs. It doesn't give you that much working bend, depending probably on the size of the bit holder if that's what you're trying to do. But overall, I have a couple of these, and I've got an old rusty one. They just keep working. In fact, this kind of stuff, if you see these, in pawn shops, they may not know it's a Snap-On, just because there's a lot of cheap versions. So anytime I see one of these, I look really close, and I found them for next to nothing But let's get into a couple of interesting ones. This guy here is a composite 1000-volt rated version, so it takes my handles basically next level, if you want to think of it that way. Now, what I was curious about is I thought, are they going to insulate anything? So, yep, you bet. Let's go ahead and try it here. I'll pull out this one. It's a little shorter, but you'll get the idea. And then crank up my generator here to move it away from my camera. So it's pretty low, but I can't feel that. Ow! Okay, that one worked. All right, so let's go ahead and try it now with the composite. See that? Let's crank it up a little. I'm not feeling it at this end, so I'm going to call that a win. And of course, let's take a look at the length of the shaft here. So I'm going to roll this magnet down to, that's about as far as it goes, right to there on this side. Turn it around to the bit holder, and it's just to there. So this is about here to here is the composite or the insulation. So that works great. Lastly, we have got a speed handle. So if I put the speed handle in here, basically I can, crank it along. Now, this is probably old school, maybe aviation work, or if you're putting in a whole lot of the same sized screws, you could do that, or you could use it as a nut driver, etc. What I was playing with was the concept, speaking of old school, why can't I just use it also as a drill, old school drill here, if I want. Kind of old and new. But anyway, those are the Snap-on shafts that fit into their interchangeable shaft screwdriver system. They're not cheap. There are some options. You can get other brands. I've done videos on Gear Wrench that also fit. But when it comes down to some of the specialty ones and the fit, the performance, it's nice to be able to get the Snap-on. If you've got other screwdriver interchangeable bit shaft ideas, let me know. But overall, I just love this platform. Yeah, it's heavy, kind of expensive, but I'm just so used to it, especially the flicking of the switch. Just so nice. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and what you use. And with that, Doc out.